Welcome back to The Explainer. Now, over our past 25 installments, we've taken a really deep dive into the data of 25 top and mid-tier universities. We mapped out exactly where departments stand across massive comprehensive institutions. We're talking places like National Taiwan University, National Chengchi University, National阳明Tatung, Chengkong, Tsinghua, Central, all the way to private stalwarts like Suzhou, Chongyuan, Tongkang, and Providence. But today, we're pivoting. We're going to deliver an unflinching reality check on two smaller institutions that are facing severe, undeniable declines in student preference. It's time to look at the hard data behind the popularity crisis at CTBC Financial Management College and Tatung University and see exactly where they stand compared to that group of 25.
Here is how we're breaking this down today. First, we'll explain our popularity metric. Then, we look at CTBC's fading elite myth, followed by direct department comparisons. After that, we'll dive into Tatung's engineering struggle and their specific department comparisons. Finally, we'll unpack the systemic root causes driving these trends.
Section 1. The Popularity Metric Explained. Establishing the methodology behind the data.
To make sure our analysis is completely airtight, we use a highly objective formula. The popularity metric is essentially a geometric mean combining two crucial factors. First is the fill rate, meaning the actual percentage of eligible students who put the department on their preference list. Second is the inverse of the order, which reflects the screening rank threshold. Why do it this way? Because this reveals the true upfront student preference and market demand, rather than just post-acceptance enrollment yields. It tells us exactly who actually wants to go there, right out of the gate. Oh, and a quick but super important note before we jump into the numbers. I want to explicitly clarify that these two schools, CTBC and Tatung, are grouped together in the single explainer solely for brevity. They have relatively few departments, so combining them just makes for a much richer, meatier analysis. They have absolutely zero institutional connection to one another. Let's move to Section 2, CTBC, Fading Elite Myth. From a guaranteed jumpstart to a struggling rank. You've really got to pause and think about the sheer scale of the drop we're seeing here. Back in 2018, CTBC was holding its own against mid-tier schools with an average rank of 58,642. But their projection for 2026? They've plummeted to an average rank of 78,774. That puts them squarely behind almost all of the 25 previously analyzed institutions. They're literally losing their grip on the mid-tier market.
Section 3. CTBC Department Comparisons, an apples-to-apples reality check. We cannot sugarcoat this data. And we shouldn't pretend the problem isn't there, because ignoring it just delays the solution. When we do an apples-to-apples comparison of CTBC's core programs against mid-tier peers, the ranks are down in the thousands. Financial and economic law is sitting at 1014. Business administration is at 1039. Tech and financial management is at 1043. And sports industry management is at 1044. When you anchor these against equivalent programs at private leaders like Suzhou University or Tamkang University, the contrast is honestly stark. CTBC is vastly underperforming.
And you think programs designed to be highly flexible might perform a bit better, right? Well, not really. Their bachelor program ranks at 1,007, and the youth savings account group sits at a staggering 1,087. These incredibly low popularity indices mean they aren't capturing returning students or cross-disciplinary applicants either. Demand is chillingly low across the board. And this next point just brilliantly illustrates the massive gap we're talking about. Finance is supposed to be CTBC's absolute flagship department, right? Well, it sits at a rank of 99.4. Compare that to top-tier National Taiwan University at 51, or even a private leader like Suzhou University at 629. The distance between CTBC's core offering and its market competitors is widening drastically.
Let's pivot our focus. Section 4, Tatung, an engineering struggle, the decline of a traditional private powerhouse.
The reality check here is just blunt. Apart from a few negligible blips, Tatung is seeing a severe, across-the-board decline. We're looking at massive negative growth in nearly all of their core disciplines, with the absolute steepest numerical drops happening in applied foreign languages and computer science. For a school built on engineering and tech, watching your CS numbers drop that fast is a glaring warning sign.
Section 5. Tatung Department Comparisons, Unpacking the Granular Data.
So let's look at their traditional strongholds, the very fields where Tatung historically thrived. They are falling significantly behind their private peers. Electrical engineering is ranking at 743, computer science at 845, chemical engineering and biotech at 791, and mechanical and materials at 827. It's deeply concerning to see a historic engineering school struggling this much to fill engineering seats compared to other comprehensive mid-tier universities. And the crucial point is right here. When we do a strict apples-to-apples comparison, the struggle becomes undeniable. Tatung's electrical engineering program trails a direct competitor like Chungyuan Christian University by over 300 spots. Chungyuan's EE program is at 421, while Tatung lags way behind at 743. The struggle continues straight into their design schools, too. Their once revered industrial design department sits at 914, media design is at 962, and the interactive media design group is hovering precariously near the 1,000 mark at 999. The applicant enthusiasm that once fueled these amazing creative programs has largely dissipated. Rounding out Tatung's roster, let's check management and humanities. Business and info management ranks at 938, info management at 1027, and applied foreign languages at 969. These programs have almost entirely lost their competitive edge in the applicant pool when placed next to similar departments in our previously analyzed 25 universities. So, what exactly is driving these numbers down so hard? Let's get into it. Section 6. The root causes unpacked, systemic shifts, and localized rumors. On a macro level, two major policy shifts completely altered the landscape for everyone. First, the 2024 government policy providing 35,000 NTD in private school tuition subsidies instantly leveled the playing field. It totally neutralized the financial advantages and scholarships that smaller private schools use to lure students in. Second, the 2022 new syllabus expanded the competitive denominator by encouraging much more cross-exam testing. With a larger pool of applicants spreading their options across more comprehensive universities, single-focus schools lost out mathematically. But obviously, there are very specific reasons for each school, too. For CTBC, the early myth of a guaranteed easy job within the financial group totally shattered. As earlier cohorts graduated, they exposed the reality of high-stress banking KPIs and steep dropout rates in management associate programs. Students quickly realized that guaranteed employment definitely didn't mean easy employment, pushing them back toward traditional, comprehensive university experiences that offer broader networking. As for Tatung, they've been devastated by localized yet incredibly damaging rumors. The most prominent one is just immense brand confusion. Countless students and parents actually believed Tatung University was closing down. In reality, it was the completely unrelated Tatung Institute of Technology, located way down in Shayi, that went out of business. But that shared name, it caused unwarranted panic. Add to that the stubborn, completely false rumors about Tatung relocating its campus to Keelung. The school actually invested 1.5 billion NTD into a brand new building in Taipei just to prove they are staying put. But the rumors persist, scaring off students who want a city campus. Furthermore, the waning industrial dominance and frequent management changes of the parent Tatung company have severely eroded applicants' confidence in the school's once ironclad industry pipeline. Which brings us to our final, highly provocative thought for this explainer. We've seen the metrics plummet, and we've unpacked the context behind the falls. With comprehensive universities now heavily subsidized by the government and offering vastly more diverse, expansive experiences, can these specialized, single-focus colleges actually survive without completely reinventing their brand? It's a critical question for the future of higher education. Thanks so much for joining me on this data deep dive, and as always, keep questioning the numbers.